What if I told you that everything you know about reading faster is working against your brain's natural design? Your brain isn't just a storage device. It's a living, adapting network that follows specific biological rules. Understanding these rules changes everything about how you read. Tip 1. Cut the inner monologue. When you read, do you hear a little voice in your head pronouncing each word? This habit forms when we learn to read as children, sounding out each syllable of each word. The problem? It's incredibly slow. At this age, you don't need to sound out deceptively to understand its meaning. Try reading without pronouncing the words in your head. Your eyes can move much faster than your inner voice can speak. This feels strange at first, but with practice, your reading speed naturally increases. Read with your finger. This may sound childish, but it works surprisingly well. Our eyes naturally jump around when reading text, requiring mental effort to stay focused on each line. This is why you sometimes lose your place, read the same line twice, or accidentally mix words from different lines. By placing your finger below the text as you read, you give your eyes something to track, stabilizing your gaze and improving focus. This simple technique can improve reading speed by a significant percentage. It works for everything: books, tablets, computer screens. Yes, it feels awkward at first, but the results speak for themselves. Next, stop reading what you don't like. Many readers feel obligated to finish every book they start, a misguided school mentality where completing the entire text earned you a good grade. Real life doesn't work that way. Most nonfiction books contain just 2 or 3 genuinely useful chapters, with the rest often repeating the same ideas in different ways. If you grasp a concept in Chapter 1 and see it restated in Chapter 2, skip ahead, check the table of contents, identify potentially valuable chapters, and read only those. For a 200-page book, give it 20 pages, about 10%, before deciding whether to continue. Fiction is different. If it's good, read every word. If it's bad, put it down and move on. For every 2 books Mark reads completely, there's one he abandons without guilt. Reading should serve you, not the other way around. Next tip is schedule your reading time. "I'm too busy" is never a valid excuse. Reading is incredibly portable and flexible. You can read during your commute, lunch breaks, at the gym between sets, or even in the bathroom. Without any special scheduling, most people can easily find 30 minutes a day to read. With intentional planning, an hour is entirely achievable. With consistent daily reading, the numbers are impressive. At an average pace of 1 page every 2 minutes, reading for 60 minutes daily means 30 pages per day. For a typical 300-page book, that's a complete book every 10 days, or 37 books annually. Factor in skipping mediocre books and chapters, and you're easily reading 40 to 50 books per year with just 1 dedicated hour each day. Tip number 5. Read multiple books simultaneously. Contrary to popular belief, reading multiple books at once doesn't double your mental workload. It actually makes reading easier. When you tire of one book, switch to another that feels fresh and exciting. When that one becomes tedious, return to the first with renewed interest. Mark typically juggles 3 books at any given time: a challenging philosophical or technical book, a general nonfiction educational book, and something lighter like fiction or biography. This variety keeps his reading experience balanced and sustainable. Now you know how to read faster, but the problem is, can you remember what you read? The harsh truth about remembering what you read is, it's not easy. But here's the surprising part. Highlighting and note-taking are virtually worthless for retention. These techniques originated from academic settings where you needed to study for tests, but studies consistently show that highlighting, underlining, and margin notes have no effect on memory retention. We remember what we use. If you read a book on nutrition but continue eating the same way, you'll forget everything. Human memory prioritizes useful information. To remember what you read, find ways to implement those ideas in your life, even if that implementation is simply adopting a new perspective. If you're determined to hack your memory, try explaining what you've read to someone else. Our brains prioritize social interactions, so sharing ideas verbally signals to your subconscious that this information must be important. Finally, remember that you don't need to recall every detail from every book. You just need to remember what ideas are in which books. That way, when you need specific information, you know exactly where to find it. With these 5 strategies and a realistic approach to retention, you can transform your reading habit from occasional to prolific and actually remember what you read.